Welcome everybody to another edition of the PetX podcast, where we share real advice, real stories, real strategies for pet industry success. We are your hosts, Wayne, TeLisa, and Lita, and our goal, as always, is to build better pet businesses, one conversation at a time. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good
Morning, Rich
morning.
Risings, Rich Risings.
All right. Yes, my bad. Wealthy awakening.
Period. When nobody's morning.
Exactly right. So today we are going to talk about um something that we see often. We see often with a lot of pet professionals, especially in the grooming world, or I mean we see it pet sitting, training, dog
Yeah.
walking, as well. But a lot of people are saying, they are booked and busy. And I mean, we say, being booked and busy is good,
Hmm.
to a certain extent. However, there are people who are like, oh, I'm booked and busy for the next 6 months. I'm booked out. I'm not taking any new clients for the next
Hmm.
year. Even back in February, like there were a lot of people on like these different Facebook groups that were like, yeah, I'm booked out for the rest of the year. I'm like, the year just started. Like, how are you booked
Right.
out throughout the rest of 2025? Like,
Right.
but the question is, even though you say you are booked and busy, but is this booked and busy profitable? Are you just hustling or is it profitable to you? Like, do you have deposits for all of these appointments and things like that? Like
Hmm.
how are you booked and busy and what is that doing for your business?
Right. Are you booked and busy, profitable, and productive? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's the other thing I think that people are, or I would say even service providers in general, because most pet business is a service, so
Yep.
it's like, are we being productive to the point where we are having returning clients? Are we being productive on we're creating a good customer experience? Are our teammates happy? Is our team happy? Is the pets happy? You know what I mean? Like all of these
Right.
things, they're real things when it comes to running a successful business. So to me, I don't know. When I hear that, to me, I only see it as a flex 50%. Like, do I want to be
I think
booked and
so.
busy for the rest of the year? You know what I mean? Like, or do I want to say, okay, I'm booked, but I have time off allotted for this, allotted for that,
Mhm.
education, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot.
I feel like that should also come with like pictures. Let me see.
Right. Pictures and
Receipt.
videos, content,
Let me
right?
see.
Send the receipt.
Let me see.
Me personally, just while y'all was talking, I was just kind of sitting and thinking about like, was something like that feasible for my lifestyle? I was thinking like maybe these people only work part-time. So a part-time
True.
schedule could be booked out 6 months to a
Yeah,
year.
Yep.
true.
And they still have time to vacation, spend time with their family, that type of thing. I do, as a mobile groomer, have clients with standing appointments. So technically, there are several clients that I could book out for 6 months to a year because they're like, oh, the same time, the same
Next month.
Thursday.
Right.
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 So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
there I do have a lot of clients who like love the consistency of having the exact same, appointment all day every year. I mean, not all day every year, but
Yeah.
Same day, all
all
year.
year,
Yeah.
all
Oh,
year, same day.
yeah. We got you.
Um, yeah, and then I get the luxury of having my kids' gymnastics schedule well in advance. Like her
That's good.
schedule for next season, I have in July. So I go ahead and put that into my work schedule and be like, okay, well, these are the days I can't work. So
Mm.
I have that advance notice to be able to schedule people around if they wanted to. But honestly, like the idea of people is just so iffy. Like,
Right.
what happens if somebody gets sick? What if the dog gets
Right.
sick and needs to reschedule? Do you have room in your schedule once
Mhm.
everybody is booked for the whole year to have to reschedule? Or do they
Right.
just miss that appointment? Like,
Right.
and then you got to worry about matting because the dog needs to be maintained at home for an extra
Mhm.
4 to 6 weeks or how many ever weeks, in between the next
Right.
appointment. So I think it's too much going on with people to schedule that far out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
unpredictable things can happen. Definitely. I agree. And it's like then you have to worry about, like Wayne was saying, the profitability of it. If two or three people that on today, for example, if I have 5 dogs scheduled, if two or three people cancel on me last minute, now I'm not meeting my quota for the day, my quota for the week, my quota for the month. Am I going to be able
Mhm.
to still pay myself or my team or anybody else involved? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like people have to also think about that. Like, do you have a wait list? Like, do you have somebody that can call people and be like, hey, two or three people cancel last minute. You want to squeeze you in? Like, something to keep it going, Like, it's just, like you said, it's unpredictable, TeLisa. Like, it's
Yeah.
unpredictable.
My question is like, yeah, where is the flexibility if things do happen?
Right.
Because I mean, we plan things all the time, and as we all know, like plans don't necessarily work out the way that we want it to always work out. So,
Mhm.
you know,
You
you know,
make
you
plans and God laughs.
Hello.
Right.
right, the tire might blow.
Right.
There's construction on the street. Somebody steals your generator off the bat. You know, things happen. So
Stuff
it's just like,
happens.
how do we,
That was
how
wild.
do
That was
we,
wild.
Pet Lanta podcast for real life.
That was
how
wild.
do we plan for those times if we are booked out? And then let me tell you, when I was doing, I mean, even now, it is so stressful moving people around if something inconvenience happens, like in any type of inconvenience happens.
Yeah.
So to have to move people around or sacrifice your day off to make up the time that you allotted for yourself or whatever task you have for yourself, but then you got to put people in there because something happened because now you're booked out, but you can't really move anybody around because you're so booked out. So it's just like, where's that flexibility? You
Right.
know, and again, yeah, I mean, just going back to it, are we really making money?
Right.
Like, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, are we making money with this? How? And granted, when I started, of course, I was saying yes to everybody.
Hmm.
But I didn't really have a grasp on budget and numbers and I
Hmm.
was just making the money. Like I wasn't really like, okay, I gotta allot this amount of money for this or put money away for this or save this or invest in this and things like that. I was just
Yeah.
like, you want your dog groomed? Hell yeah, let's make it
We're
happen.
gonna figure it out. Right.
I'm gonna do
Exactly.
it, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like, I mean, that's stressful in
Hmm.
itself, because we don't tend to have boundaries, especially when we first start off. And then there are a lot of people who are still well within entrepreneurship, and they're just like, yeah, say yes, say yes, say yes. And like some of us are like, yeah, no, like all money ain't good money, but
It's not.
I gotta do what I gotta do for me, at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah. And I think it's important to understand too, like, kind of what we were talking about before we press record. Like,
Yeah.
Record.
are you are you booked because you're charging below what you're worth?
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking too, because
Yeah.
if you booked and busy, your prices ain't high enough,
Right.
babe.
You're charging maybe $70 or $75 and you're doing 10 to 20 dogs a day when you really probably should be charging over 100 or so. You know what I mean? Or something along there, a little bit
200,
higher. So that way you don't have to.
$214.
Right. Right. That part. What was the number again,
Don't
Wayne?
forget to send me.
Two
Don't forget to send me
two
18.
hundred $214.78.
Boom. Boom. There it is right there. You know?
But I do want to go back to something that Wayne said about because a lot of people are charging the deposits to their clients now, and if you're booking that far out in advance, you're definitely not doing that. But I know a lot of people are
Right.
switching over to like subscription based where they just charge the account once a month, or they buy in the packages where, they sell you 3 to 6 grooming
Mm-hmm.
services
Mhm.
at a time, which is cool. But then, like, where does the tip money come from?
Hmm.
Yeah,
You
because
losing
you
your,
still
I
got
feel
to.
like you're losing your tips because a lot of people don't keep cash on them no more.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will tip on their cars, but if they paying the full price of the groom in advance, where your tip money coming from?
Right.
You don't
And
Exactly.
get it.
tips is cute. I ain't never gonna turn down no tips, so I ain't gonna be.
And we're the type of industry that they still tip. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause not every industry
Yeah.
experiences that. We're the type of industry, if it's dealing with somebody's pets, most likely our clients are going to tip, whether we groom their dog, train their dog, pet sit, walk, all of the above, you know? So it's just a lot of different factors. And it was like, is it really worth it for what you're doing? And then is it gonna cause drama later? Because that's what I always be
Mhm.
thinking about. I don't want the drama. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't even book my pet sitting clients if they want to if it's January and they want to book in December for Christmas time, like I won't we don't start taking deposits for December until October. Because
And
what
that
we
makes sense.
learn,
Right
yeah,
Yeah.
before the holiday season
right
start.
before the
Yeah.
holidays, because we know what, like you just said, TeLisa, stuff happens. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And it's like I've gotten to a point where I used to do that before, where I used to be, oh, we're booked. We got 50 dogs booked for Christmas. I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm turning up. Then next thing I know, 3 days before Christmas, I had 10 cancellations. You know what I mean? And I'm like, now I got to refund all these people that I took deposits for in January.
January, because baby, that money's
Like
spent.
that money's gone, you know? So it was a nightmare.
Was
It
gone
was a
when you press
nightmare.
submit. Okay.
Right. It's gone in the wind, you know? So it's like that you just I feel like if you are going to do the booked and busy method, I feel like you should do it a good 90 days out. I feel like
Yeah.
anything kind of past 90 days, it has to be like a loyal. You know, it has to be one of those
Yeah.
clients that y'all like this,
Yeah.
y'all locked
Keep it.
in. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
guys know that they're not going nowhere. They're gonna be consistent with their schedule. They're not gonna cancel on you last minute. If they do, they're gonna be way more advanced than you need. You know,
Yeah.
not a newbie. I don't think a new client should have that same level of, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
authority than your loyal client.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah.
good point there too, because like when you think about it, like tattoo artists probably open their books for like 60 days.
Right.
And then it creates a level of
Demand.
demand. Yeah.
Mhm.
It creates a level of demand once you get closer to that 60 days. Like, all right, what month are we on? We're in July. All right. July 15th, I'm gonna open up August. So now you got all these people on July 14th, July 15th booking for August,
Yep.
and now your August is booked up. You know,
Yep.
mid-August, you're doing the
That's
same
how
thing for
I do
September,
mine. You can
Yeah.
you
only
know?
see 2 months of my schedule at a time online. That's
I
all you
like
Yeah.
that.
see.
And I
Mm.
mean, I feel like that's a good method to have because it creates like that like, oh, I need to go ahead and book now. I need to go ahead
Now.
and get on the
Yeah.
books now. I need to do
Mm-hmm.
this because
Mm-hmm.
it's closed otherwise. But some
Yep.
people just leave their stuff open for
Mhm. And it's
forever.
called sense of urgency. That's a sales
Yeah.
tactic.
Mhm.
So if you want to get into sales and marketing, sense of urgency is one of the best ways to get somebody to book an appointment, a class, or whatever you got to book. You know,
Yeah.
so it makes more sense to do it 60 to 90 days in advance.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
that's a
and
good point right there.
since we talking about it, it's funny because the software that I use Mogo, and they have a setting
Oh
for
yeah.
like people who are new to the game to do. It's called fake it till you make it,
Hmm.
and it'll only show like a certain amount of availability, so it'll look like you busy when the client goes and
Hmm.
looks.
Mhm.
Psychology. Yep.
Yeah, it'll look like you don't have a whole lot of availability. So that way it'll be like, oh, I need to, because I'm looking at the whole month and they only got like 4 days available. Oh, I need to
Yep.
go ahead and book
Go
that.
ahead and book
Yeah.
down.
So
Yep. Hmm.
And then it
yeah, I
also
thought
Smart.
that
narrow
was super
yeah, that is
cool.
a cool feature. It also narrows down when they can book too, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
because it's like, look, I only want this person to book on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. So
Exactly.
I need
But they
to
have
book
that
it.
too, though, where you can go in
Yeah.
and be like, this client only wants Saturdays. This client only wants
Oh, I
Sundays.
like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool how they got it worked out. But you,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's good.
Mogo
I
That's
was
listens
gonna
to
good.
all
use
That's
of that.
good.
Mogo before too. That's crazy because I remember when I was doing mobile grooming in Hawaii, we actually looked into Mogo. That was one of the features. They had just came out though around that
Oh,
time.
okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
they probably
yeah,
didn't have
but
a lot of the stuff that they have now.
yeah, no, I
But
like that though. That's lit.
yeah,
Hmm.
they'll have it set up to where like you can go in the system and you can be like, I only want these people in this area to be able to book on this day,
Hmm.
and this client only wants to book the mornings of Thursdays, and
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
it takes a lot of the thinking out of it for me,
yeah.
which is
For
why
sure.
I still pay them.
I like that though because it's like it's important. Yeah, and it's like and then that's another thing. Like then are you booked and busy because you're doing everything manual?
Hmm.
Like I feel like that's what I talk to my mentees about. Anybody that comes to me for pet business mentoring, I'm like, when they tell me they're writing down their appointments, I'm like, for what?
I used to forget so many people like that
So many
when I
people in the beginning. Like
Mm-mm.
I just had to like it's 2025. Like you
You
use
need a booking
technology,
system.
use software, use a
Yeah.
system, and it's like
take
I
your
that
business
one
seriously
little
and invest
gem
in
I
yourself.
give them one little gem I give them for business mentoring, it changes their life. Like, go
Hmm.
download Time to Pet, go register. They give you a free 30 days with the software. Like, Time to Pet
Hmm.
is specifically made for pet sitters, not groomers, not dog trainers, pet sitters. So they
Yeah.
understand what you're going through.
Oh,
Like,
they know exactly
all
what
of
you're
that.
in.
Yeah, so it's just like little things like that. Like, are you writing down? Because I know groomers like that. Some of you guys
Yeah.
watching right now are probably those groomers we talking about.
No,
I know
serious.
Lord,
groomers that's been
oh
grooming
Lord.
for 20 something years and still writing it down in a book.
We do too.
Like,
We
No,
do
no.
and
too.
if
And I
I'm
tried
even
that
just getting
out
on.
the gate.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I tried that out the gate when I first started, and like I would forget clients, I forget to write stuff
Man,
down, and I was like, you know what, this don't work for me. I don't want no paper, no paper, no
no
paperwork.
paper. And then it gets
And
wet because a dog then dropped it in the toilet or the
you
or
lose
in
the
the
notebook. You
bathtub.
don't know where it's at. You didn't put it on. Yeah, like I've come across groomers that are like that too, where they just write everything down, and I'm just like, yeah, no. I need to be
No.
able to be somewhere and look on my phone and be able to see like, all right, this is how
Who
many
is
I
it?
got. This is what's going on, and have the
Yeah.
information and stuff like that.
Then you got to
Because
look up their address. Like,
yeah, no,
And
it,
then
it's
depending
you.
on the day, you probably can't read your own handwriting.
right.
Mm-mm.
You had one dog
Right,
in your hand while you
you
was writing it
struggling.
down.
Is this a five or a G or a
Right.
You want
S?
to talk
I don't know.
about?
You
And then
know,
you're calling the client trying to act like you know, but you don't really know. So you're like, remind me again.
yeah,
What
go ahead and
apartment
tell me
was
again,
it?
real quick, real quick. Um, no, and and even just getting into that part, the we mentioned it just a second, like investing back in your business.
Hmm.
Like so many people want to be minimalist, and I get it. However, the automation and the booking systems and investing into certain things that make your everyday task like easier
Easier.
is going
Yeah,
to make your life easier.
it
Like
is.
we work hard, long hours all the
Mhm.
time, and it still seems like a struggle. So we have to figure out why are we struggling? Like, what are we not implementing or what are we missing? Because we don't want to have these red flags that just keep popping up. But I'm just like, if booking is the system, if it's not, why don't we have an automated booking system? If
Mhm.
people aren't rebooking or getting reminders, or let's find a system that makes that happen.
Yeah.
Like you have to be willing to put back into your business
Yep.
what
You
you
got
get
to
out of it.
invest. Yep.
Like you have to, because
Mhm.
everybody wants to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, or live this fancy life. And I'm just like, no, if you're holding on to everything that you make, your business is suffering.
Yeah,
So
it
you have
is.
to put it
Yeah,
back
you're not
into it.
growing.
You're
Mm-mm.
not growing. You're hustling. You're not growing.
Yeah.
You know, and the
Yeah. It's
hustle is
like,
cool if that's the level that you want to be at. But
right.
trust me,
But it's
I'm not trying.
exhausting, you
It
know?
is.
It's exhausting. And that goes back to the booked and busy. Are you exhausted at the end of the month? Like,
Yeah,
are you
tired.
so burnt? Like like how they say in Atlanta, like, are you burnt?
And
Are
I'm
you so
tired.
burnt that you can't even get to the next month? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you don't even want to look at another dog by the time you get to your 30 days. So it's like there's just so many factors, and it's just like make sure you check up on you and your business. Make sure that you're okay at the end of the month. Make sure that you're happy of doing that booked and busy schedule,
Oh,
you
I
know?
love that. A mental health check-in at the end of the month.
Yes,
Oh, I
for real,
love
you
that
got to.
idea.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
important,
Yeah.
now.
That is a good
Yeah.
idea.
Did you see that thing that with the girl on social media just recently?
Which
She was
what?
a chef.
You got to be more specific.
I know,
Yeah.
right? It's like a million things on social media.
Well, I know. I did that yesterday. I was like, do you remember that place that was next to that bar on that street? And Camille was like,
Mm-mm.
what?
Right. A million bars next to a
What?
street. Right. Exactly. It was a girl that was a personal chef, and she ended up passing away from
Yes.
just pure exhaustion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
She hadn't slept in like 3 days or something like that. It was crazy.
And she said that she needed a rest.
She needed to
And
rest.
they said she went to sleep and then I wake back up.
Never woke up.
Hmm.
Like I
Wow.
never want to
Yeah.
hear that about anybody in the pet
Yeah.
industry, because I
And that's
know that we
crazy.
work ourselves to the bone like that. Like I know we do.
But in the clients don't make it any easier.
They don't.
And which is wild because it's like we teach people, or at least tell people, like, hey, you need to have boundaries. You need to be able to set time, have some
Mhm.
balance, schedule some time where you're not working and things like that. But for the hustle, bustle, 10 toes down, entrepreneur that just started out and trying to figure it out, and all they see is like their expenses, and all they see is I have to make it, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. So it's like or the feeling of being behind, like Tierra and I was just talking about. It was just like the feeling of being behind but not really recognizing all of the things that you've accomplished thus far. That
Mhm.
Yeah.
feeling will make you keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you are exhausted and you just can't do anything else. So it's like you have to figure out how to balance that time at some point, um, because it will consume you,
Mhm.
you know,
It will.
or at least
It
or at
will.
least give you, have a hobby or something, like go hang out, or go to the gym, or go
Right.
to Barnes and Nobles for an
Or
hour
build
a
some
week or something,
Legos.
like build some
Right.
Legos. Yeah, do
Right.
something.
Go to
No,
the
for real,
pool. Go to the
do
beach. Spend
something
time with the
outside.
kids.
Yeah,
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
touch
Go touch
grass.
some
Go
grass.
go
Yes.
touch some
Hug a
grass.
tree. You know what I mean? Like something. Like
Some grass that
goodness.
ain't got dog poop in it. Yes.
That part.
Please. Please, no, but for real, we
Yes.
definitely gotta start taking care of ourselves, because like
Yeah.
I feel like if I see, like, I would be extremely grateful and blessed to see a booked out schedule. But to other people too, it's like it's stressful to them. Like I
Mhm.
got so much I gotta deal with and take care of. Now, granted, again, 6 months of being booked and busy, I'm like, all right. To me, I'm like, okay, I can mentally prepare for, all right, today I got 10 dogs. Today I got 12 dogs. Today I got 7 dogs. Okay, I'm mentally prepared for it. But when you have that for 3, 6, 9, 12 months, it's like, whew,
Yeah. Definitely. And then you
I
For
have to
me,
need a
figure out
breather.
like,
go ahead.
yeah, you have to figure out like, I think everybody's booked and busy looks different.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, that's the thing. Like we said, like me and you, Talisa, we're single moms, right? Our booked and busy is making sure that our schedule is balanced enough that we can still make sure that the kids are taken care of. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's our booked and busy. Wayne's booked and busy could be like, okay, I'm working on this day and this day and this day, but I'm also separating this time to spend time with my family. Like, so
Mhm.
it's like everybody's booked and busy looks different.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that if you want to get a booked and busy schedule, write down your goals of like what are the things that make me happy, and let me make sure I incorporate that in my schedule,
Yeah.
so that way I'm
Prioritize.
not servicing everybody else but myself.
Yep.
For real.
I agree 100% with that because prioritizing the things that you need to do or want to do and work around that.
Yep.
Like schedule you first and then do the work schedule. Like this
That
this
part.
this is the availability. Um, because when I first started and Kenzie started doing homeschool gymnastics, I wanted to be off on the day she had homeschool gymnastics, but it was only on 2 days a week.
Mm,
So I would just have those be my 2 days a week, which at the time was Tuesday and Wednesday. So I
mm,
took Tuesdays and Wednesdays off, but then I peeped that these Sundays be real slow.
mm. Because
So
people are chilling. Yep.
right. So I'm like, I don't need to be working Sundays. So then I was doing the 3 day work week. I mean the 4 day work week. And then I was like, a lot of people is asking about these Tuesdays.
Give the people what they want, right? You're like, dang.
Right. So as kids got older, I was like, oh, I ain't gotta sit in practice no more. So
Yeah.
now I'm off on the typical Sunday, Mondays, but I'm also off in time to pick her up from practice or to take her to a night practice.
Yeah.
And then I take all meet weekends off, all of them. It's
Yeah.
non-negotiable. The clients is mad now. Like,
Yeah.
when is gymnastics
Hey,
over? Never. And then I go in
it's one of those
Mogo
things.
and then I go in Mogo and set it up to where you'll never be able to book another Saturday with me.
Right.
But you need
Never.
those days.
Yeah,
You
you
need
do.
you need those days. Like,
Do.
and it is what it is. Like, and that's why I said earlier, like these clients, some clients, I'm not gonna say these clients, some clients do not care that we're human outside of grooming their dogs.
For them.
Mm-mm. Outside of taking care of
Yeah.
their fur babies.
Like that, we'll let you know. It
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
will not be a secret.
Yeah. And then sometimes it's our fault, like you said. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Yeah.
it's our fault because in the beginning we conditioned them to, I'm up in the middle of the night texting you, saying, oh, yep,
Mhm.
I'll see you at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna take care of Frosty, whatever
Yep.
dog's name is. You know what I'm
Texting
saying? Like,
back at 11 o'clock,
right.
accepting
And then it's
appointments
our
at two
fault.
o'clock in the morning.
So it's
Right.
just like this, it goes back to setting those boundaries. It goes back to letting your clients know, like, hey, I also have a life too. And that's why I always try to make myself very see, I'm giving away my secret right now if I tell you guys this. But I read this book, right? Called The Art of Seduction, right?
Yes,
Uh,
it's
Have you
Robert Green. Yes.
right. Have you guys read that book before?
I
Yes.
haven't. Okay.
Okay, so you have.
It's
Okay.
basically a book on how to manipulate everybody in your life.
Exactly.
And
That's
how
basically what it is.
used
But
throughout
specifically, I
history.
use it for business purposes, so but that's exactly what it is. And it talks about like how important forming relationships are, right? And how to find out that everybody has a problem, right? So if you're a business owner, you understand everybody has a problem and you want to be the solution to that problem, right?
Mhm.
So I try my best to form a very, very personal relationship with my clients, personal to a certain extent, of course, but a very personable, relatable relationship with my clients. So that way they understand that I'm human and they understand that I'm a mom. And when I was, married, they understood I had a husband, I was a wife, and I was a military spouse. And, you know what I mean? All these things, you guys understand that I'm going through a lot of the same things that you're going through. So show me a little grace when it comes to my business and scheduling if I need to move you around or if I can't drop everything and come to you. Like, you have to understand that. So I think forming those relationships in the very beginning with your clientele when you're, building your clientele is important. So that way they understand, like, oh yeah, he or she is human. She has life too, you know? So I think that's important. Make sure
Is
you read that book, Gwen.
The Art of Seduction. I'm gonna write it down right now.
See, I got it. If I come on, what Sunday is that? The pet
Right.
Atlanta.
Right.
If I make it, I'll bring you the book. It's on my
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. It's on Audible too. It's on Amazon if you wanted
It'll
to
probably
like read it to you.
be on Audible.
I'll probably listen to it while I'm at the gym or something. I've been
Yeah.
actually reading more, not well, listening to more
Hmm.
books like that too.
Yeah.
To where it's like you have to. I mean, not only understand, because I think the biggest thing with business to me is because I feel like we're marketing right, we're communicating, we're giving clients great service, we're updating certain things, we're upselling, we're providing resources for them, all of that. But
Hmm.
what is going on? So now it's like understanding the psychology of people,
Hmm.
100%.
you know?
That's the
Um,
part.
yeah,
100.
so now it's like trying to figure out because I feel like we're doing good on our end, but like how do we where's the disconnect, right? So
Right.
seduction. How do I seduce them to understanding
Hmm.
the value and understanding like what we're offering and how, you need to do this and how do I talk to you correctly or how do I get to spread, what we're implementing with our business when it comes to the client's part, like how they see us and things like that. So I've been listening to
Understanding that.
other, other books
Hmm.
on how to handle that part because I'm
Yeah.
like, what are we doing here? You
Yeah.
know?
No, I definitely agree.
But that's just like with the food drive we did. And I told all my clients, I was like, you'll save 10% on your next groom if you go buy some dog food.
And donate. Yeah.
Yeah. And people was gung ho for it. They were like, yes, saving 10%.
Yes. Give
You're
it
not
back. And I'm
10%.
gonna get a discount.
You're not saving 10% because you just went and spent more than that on some dog food. But
Exactly. You just spent the money extra. Like
and you tip me. So are you still? No, you're not.
it's real psychology, real manipulation and psychology. I'm telling you, like mastering that.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm gonna try to incorporate more, and I feel like this is what it is. I'm really wanting to get into like marketing and copywriting because I realized that the most successful businesses actually use that, right? Like, so if you look at McDonald's, right, you look at your commercials and they're saying like certain things about like, hey, they're like pulling on your heartstrings, right? They're like pulling on certain things, and your kids looking at it and the colors and, like the way that they pull the cheese, and you know what I mean? It's like all of that is like
McDonald's.
psychology.
They're
So it's
Yeah.
like,
The colors
I,
that they use,
they,
everything. Yeah.
yes, they understand their audience. And I feel like that is what you were just saying, Wayne. Like having somebody incorporated in your marketing that understand, here's the key, right? Understand the psychology of a pet owner's mind. Because you cannot just hire anybody for marketing if they don't understand the psychology of being a pet owner.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's where I messed up in the past, just hiring anybody to do my marketing. And I'm like, you don't even like what? They wouldn't even think this, like,
You don't
no,
even have
that's
you don't
not
even have a
right.
pet. You
Yeah, you don't even have a
don't even
dog.
have a
Like,
pet.
so I think that's what we need to get to. Like, we need to get back to
Yeah,
that. Like, are you a bona fide pet lover if you even gonna do my marketing?
for sure.
Like, because if you're not gonna understand where I'm coming from and where my client and my target market is coming from.
Yeah.
So I think that that's important. And then they would probably better, back to pulling it back to what our main point is, then they will probably understand better too when it comes to booking appointments. Now the client is understanding, okay, I came to you because I read this on your website, or I saw this, I heard you say this on social media, or I called you and had a conversation with you on the phone, and I see that you understand the psychology of my mind of why I need this for my dog, and it's important that we stay on schedule. It's important that I book ahead of time. It's important that I communicate with you as my pet provider. So
Yeah.
I think that's taking that time out to really, hone into that. I think that's what I'm on. Like the second half of this year is really like conveying value, so that way it's not so much question marks when it's time for them to book. Feel like that's so good. Like,
I can definitely get behind that. And I think having experience in customer service has definitely been like a benefit to me because
definitely.
I've dealt with all types of people in my work experience. My first job was working with kids at the YMCA. I worked at Zaxby's, so I'm working with people who in a rush to get their food.
Same.
Mhm.
Fast food.
Bartended 7 years, so I done seen everybody and their grandmama come through.
Same.
Mhm.
Yep. I didn't do that too. So I get all of that.
Like
Yep.
having worked with so many different kind of people and then going into business with people who say they care about their dog like they family,
Hmm.
that's light work.
No,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother
Yeah.
episode. You hear me?
Because you think you care about your dog like it's family, but if you did, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Your
Mm.
dog wouldn't
Like
look
you
like that.
you budget for your kids, budget for your pets.
That
Bingo.
part.
No,
And some of the
I
pets are your kids.
exactly.
You ain't
Exactly.
got
So
no
why
excuse.
why they look like that? No,
Right.
I just like TeLisa just said, I tell everybody, I'm like, look, you need to be in some type of service-based industry as a job before you start doing anything. Like go
Yeah.
be you just be a waiter for 3 months, right? Learn
Something.
Honestly, you ain't even gotta do it that much, that long.
Yeah.
a month. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
might
In
not
up
even
30
last,
days. Right.
but it's just like you need to be able to learn how to communicate with people,
Effectively.
understand what people
Yeah.
want, how to wait on people, be of service.
Of
You have to
service.
be of
Yes.
service. Everybody wants to jump straight into entrepreneurship and owning a business and things like that, but they don't have that people
With no
aspect.
customer service experience.
Right.
Yep.
How you
Yep.
service people but don't know how to deal with them.
Dogs are
Exactly.
dogs are not booking their own appointments. Yeah, we want
It's
to
the
work with
people.
dogs, but the dogs are not booking their own appointments. We have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to work with people first and
Yep.
understand. Let's answer or provide the answers or the needs or
Yeah.
fulfill whatever gap these people are looking for. So then that way they understand like not only do we fill the gap, but we provide value, and
Mhm.
providing value increases the experience that they have, which makes them come back.
Yep. Oh, that's a good one, Wayne. And that's the other one. Are you profitable? Are you productive? And are you providing value? Because if
And
you
I,
just if you just shaving that dog and throwing him out back out the door, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, are you providing value? Like, are you just okay, there you go. That's the best I can do in an hour. I got another appointment coming in 10 minutes. If you're doing that,
yeah,
what are we even doing? Like, that's not giving no quality. Like, that's not like providing value and giving a quality experience. And nobody likes to be treated like that. We didn't all went to service providers. Nobody likes to be treated like the rush, like they had to squeeze you in, even though you made an appointment. You know what I mean? Like nobody likes to feel like that. So that if you're on that booked and busy agenda, are you looking at all three of those things? Because if you're booked and busy and you're not providing value or being productive or anything or profitable, then you need to reevaluate your schedule.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
and
mean, go ahead.
I feel like you lacking something with a booked and busy schedule. Like it's always nice to be booked. It's always nice to be busy. But once you get busy, you're sacrificing something.
There you
Whether
go.
whether it's the time or the quality, because you're looking at your clock all day.
Right.
All
Yeah.
when you're busy. Like, oh,
Hmm.
I really want to get out of here on time, maybe even a little early if I can.
No, for real
Hmm.
though.
Oh, you're,
That's so
you're
true.
sacrificing quality.
That's so true. And Wayne, you know what that reminds me of? When we get to that booked and busy perspective, it reminds me of working corporate. And it
Yeah.
reminds me of working in the animal hospital because that's what we used to be. We used to be like, all right, looking at the
All
board,
right.
looking at a watch, looking at the board, looking at a watch. Okay, we got 20
All the
dogs to
time.
do, 5 surgeries, and 3 dental cleanings to do by 2 o'clock. You know, like that's what
Right.
you're literally putting
And
it in
it
your
needs to be,
brain.
everything needs to be done by 2:30 because the doctor's trying to leave by 2:45. So it needs to be
Oh
Our
no.
appointments start back up at
where
2.
these, but and it that does make you feel like the corporate setting,
It
right?
does.
Because there's so many people, and like TeLisa said, you are sacrificing quality because you're
Yep.
just viewing everybody as a number and you're
As a
just getting
number.
them in and out, in and out, in and
Yep.
out, in and out. But like one thing like people irritate me about is like when they call, like they could drop a dog, like this happened on Saturday. Person dropped off their dog at 11 o'clock and they started calling around 2 or 3 o'clock wondering like, hey, what's going on with my dog? First of all, your dog is number 10. Okay, and second of all, you came at 11 o'clock. If you had a preferred pickup time, you can for sure move your dog up, on the schedule. But I'm not going to rush through these dogs just because you're calling. Like, no, your dog is going to get done when your dog gets done. But granted, your dog is still roaming around, your dog got water, your dog went outside. Like, I'm not just putting them in a cage or anything, but
Right.
you want to make sure that we're providing the right service to you. But I'm not
Hmm.
going to rush through everything just because you feel like I need to. No, we've explained how this works, per dog,
Ahead of
how
time.
everything
Right.
works, right?
Right.
But it's just I'm not going to sacrifice the quality of it because you're rushing, but so many people will because they see the time, they see how many dogs they have to get done. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, it's easy shaving dogs down every day when that's all you're doing, but these people don't want just shaved dogs down. They want
Beautiful
cute
dogs.
cuts, fluffy dogs, and it's
Hmm.
just like you got to be able to
Yeah.
allot time for that. And I mean that's where the teamwork comes in too, because if I have a good prep tech or bather or somebody
Hmm.
helping out, it's less time on my table, but I'm still able to do what I need to do. So it works itself out, but you got to make sure that everybody has clear communication when it comes down to what the expectations are too.
Definitely. I too completely agree. There's so many different factors that, you just have to look at. And I feel like it comes with growth. All of us was winging it
Yes.
when we first started our pet businesses, unless you had like
Boy.
a bona fide solid mentor, but majority of us didn't start with that.
Mm-mm.
So it's just like you got to just know there's a day and a time and to sit down and evaluate your business and see if if you are providing those things and even asking clients. I'm a big component of that. Like I'm a big advocate, I should say, of like, especially in the very beginning of my business, I understood like the customer experience was important. I
Yeah.
understood feedback was important. I understood telling the client to leave me a review was getting me 2 or 3 more clients. Like, so it's like I wanted you to come and be like, dang, Lita and her team killed it. You know what I mean? Like they really provided a great service. Like make sure y'all go book. I want them to tell 3 or 4 of their friends. So it's just like I don't want it to be like, oh, I called them and they said they was like booked, they squeezed me in, but they still give me crappy service. Like I don't want it to be that. Like if anything, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm sorry I can't take you, but I would love to recommend you to one of my other colleagues in the industry, that can probably help you out instead of taking you and making you feel like we didn't care about your dog. So I think that that's just all those things. It goes back to even networking. Like if you can't do it, it's okay for you to say I can't do it and just recommend them somebody else that you know is good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phone a
for
friend.
real. Yeah,
No.
for real.
And that's okay. And I think a lot of people don't realize like it's okay to refer something to somebody else or somebody, refer clients because now you're not sitting there, they're not sitting on a wait list
Hmm.
and you didn't come to the client and be like, I don't know, or I don't have an answer for you.
Right.
You're like, I trust this person. I've grown with this person. I recommend that you go here. They can take care of you. If you choose to come back to me, cool. If not,
Yep.
make
Yep.
sure that you book an appointment, because I'm
Hmm.
booked and busy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you book.
Facts.
You got to think ahead with these things. It's about providing the best service that you can, while still keeping your business at the forefront of your mind. You got to make sure that It's profitable. You got to make sure that, your branding is on point. You're not overstretching yourself,
Yeah.
and you're doing what's best for you and your business.
Mhm.
I mean, we didn't even really get into the pricing part of it, because a lot of people aren't charging what they need to be charging based off
Mhm.
of their expenses, but they're
Yeah.
charging what they feel like the next person, either comparable
What would
or,
you charge
just
for?
yeah.
We
Are you
we see it
asking?
in Facebook groups. What would you charge for?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'd be
Right.
like, why are you asking them?
I
Right.
don't know
That
how much you need to make, ma'am, sir.
right. It doesn't
For
matter
real.
what they would charge for. It's what you need to be charging for it, not what you want to charge. Like
Your time spent.
yeah,
Period.
I tell myself I am a little more expensive for myself, but that is because of where I am, my expenses, what I'm trying to do, and how
Yeah.
I'm growing the business. If I was comfortable, if I was comfortable just taking care of myself, minimal expenses. I don't have the plan to really grow the business,
Spend, right.
and things
Hmm.
like and expand and scale and whatnot. Then cool, I can charge minimally, but still retain some of the profit from it. But if
Right.
I'm going to have a larger overhead, I'm going to have expenses, insurance, retail
Hmm.
products, more services. I want to grow the business. I need days and time off, but I still need to be able to pay myself. Then that
Hmm.
comes with a price tag that the people who I'm marketing services to, they got to be able to, one, respect that, but be able to pay it too.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that that value is there,
You're not
with
scared.
whatever you, huh?
No fear. Just do it.
No, no, I remember, you remember in the beginning, like before it was like, ooh, I'm charging $60. Ooh, I'm
And you're
charging
like,
$70.
are
Ooh,
people
I'm
gonna pay
charging 80.
this?
Now it's 140, 150,
And saying it
160.
confidently.
Yeah, and I just be like, ooh, y'all pay that?
Right, exactly. No, seriously. No, it's so funny. I'm telling you,
You
because
know,
Wayne,
10 years in the game and you still got imposter syndrome.
right. But I told you, Wayne, you were the one that made me feel confident. Because before, mind you, I'm the one that started out doing $25 washes,
Yeah,
not no shaves. I'm talking about washing the dog, right?
yeah,
I started out my business back in 2010, like literally not 2010. I'm way off. 2015. What year is this? Not 2010. 2015. I started out my business 2015 doing $25 dog washes.
yeah,
So when I finally got to you and me and you started like working together, and you told me that these people in Atlanta was paying $100 to wash their dog, I was like,
yeah,
wait a minute. I said, for the shave and the clip and all of that. And she was like, no, for a pit bull. I said, you better shut your freaking mouth. I said,
yeah.
now I'm gonna be on the phone like, hello? Yeah, it's gonna be $100 to wash your chihuahua.
$100? What am I
100,
getting
and
for
then
$100?
they was paying it all day.
Yeah.
And when I would tell
Oh
other
yeah.
groomers that or other people in the pet industry, they were looking at me like I was crazy because they're like, there's no way you're charging these people $100. And I'm like, baby, welcome to Atlanta. Like they paying it and gladly and tipping me.
What'd you say, Talisa?
I said, I'm not in Atlanta and they paying it. They paying
Right.
Yeah.
$100 for Frenchies and Chihuahuas.
Right. We we
I
in
think
we in Georgia.
I think what that price is, we're charging based off we're charging based off of just the service alone.
Yeah.
Like just the
Yeah.
bath. Like we're not
Hmm.
thinking about anything else. We're charging like just the bath, and that's what people tend to like start off with, but they're not factoring in convenience, gas, expenses, paying
Hmm.
yourself, the value of it,
Traffic.
replenishing the traffic, replenishing the
For real.
services, things like that. Like we're charging just
And
that service, but everything else comes up to the 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,
Yeah. That's
price range,
it's a
you
lot,
know?
especially if you live in a metropolitan city. If you
Yeah.
live even within 285, outside of 285, if you live in a 60-mile radius around the city of Atlanta, you can expect your commute to come to the dog or not come to the dog is going to be hell. Like
That's
Yeah.
it's one some days it's gonna be easy, but majority of the days, if I'm commuting to you, it is going to be a lot. So and that I had to learn that about Atlanta real quick. Like when I started, doing mobile grooming and I started going to my pet sitting jobs, like when I was in Hawaii, it was 20, boom, 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 15, 20 minutes. I'm boom, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's
Mhm.
nowhere to be drive to. Same thing in Virginia. Boom, 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 15, 20 minutes. When I came to Atlanta, man, I had my 10-day
That
appointments turned into five real quick. Like
30.
I couldn't fit 10 people in a day. There's not enough time in the day before four
Yeah.
o'clock to not get caught in traffic and do 10 dogs. Like it's just
Hmm.
impossible in this city. So
When
it's just
people
like you
tell
gotta think about that.
when I spoke to a mobile Talisa and I would when I spoke to a mobile groomer that was like they get through like 15 dogs per day or something like that. What was it? Was something like that.
In Atlanta?
same
Yeah,
neighborhood.
we were just like, what? Like what time? No, 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 no. It was like get through like 10 to 15 dogs per day, start at 9, 10 o'clock and be done by 3.
That ain't nothing but baths, and they all in the same neighborhood. You can't
Right.
tell.
I'm like, you not driving nowhere. There's no
You're not
way.
pre-washing, nobody's getting their nails done, nobody's getting their ears done, clean. Like it's literally just
They're bringing
water,
the dog to
dry,
you.
out.
Or you're parked in a neighborhood and they're bringing the dog to your van. There's
Yep.
no
Yeah.
way that you're driving physically to their house and hooking up.
You're
No
not doing
way.
no haircuts either. Can't be.
No way.
Like you ain't gotta flex for us, okay? Like it's
Right. Don't
okay.
flex for the gram.
You ain't gotta flex for us.
I
All
told you
right.
you should ask that girl for a ride along so you can see.
I'm going too. I'm gonna
I would
record
be
it.
so like what? No, my face would be like, you're not gonna do that.
No,
You're
wait,
not
you
gonna
know
fix
what?
that.
No, Talisa,
You're
Wayne
not
don't
gonna
need to go.
you're not gonna fix that. Cause I need to jump in and now I
You
need to
gonna be
make
like,
some
hold
money.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
We're
And
not
we
about to let this
and we
dog
know
go home
it'll
like that.
it'll take 3 hours to groom a dog. He will sit in somebody's driveway for
We
12
not
hours grooming one.
yeah,
Yo,
we not gonna let this dog leave like that. All right, cool. All right, so I would say, let's say, get it, man.
So we
I,
don't believe in the idea of being booked and busy. Is
uh,
what it all boils down.
not far out, not too
yeah,
far out.
not
Yeah,
reasonably. You
I
could
see.
be booked and busy for 2, 3, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Cool.
yeah.
But
Two to three, two to
give
three
your
months.
yeah, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some flexibility. Give
Some breathing
yourself
room.
yeah, some breathing room. Like don't,
Mm-hmm.
you can have your busy days, but like schedule some days for yourself too. You don't have to take everybody on, you
Right.
know. Um and you also don't need to flex for your competitors, your other groomers and other
Mm-mm.
people. You don't have to do all that. Like
They're not doing your
it's
work.
not it's not a flex to say I'm booked out for a year. Cause why?
That
Why are
just
you
sounds
booked out?
exhausting to me.
That sounds like I'm gonna go lay down.
But you need a
That's
nap.
stressful.
Right.
Right, that is stressful.
You
Okay,
need a
because
vacation. That's what you need.
you are literally booked
If you sat down
like
and had
from
time to book all of them appointments all the way out to December. Mm-mm.
Yo.
and then my question like again, is everybody keeping those appointments? Did you take a deposit for those appointments? Like how just because they're on the schedule does not mean that you're booked.
Are you sending out reminders? Are you like, it's like all these different things. Like, what are you actually doing?
Yeah,
Like, so
nah,
so 2 or 3 months. Our final solution or our final
yeah,
decision is that we believe in a booked and busy, but not too far out. No more than like 90 days, because stuff happens, life happens, plans change.
yes.
Clients don't be loyal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like all these different things. So it's just like don't put yourself in a situation where maybe you're taking deposits or maybe you're expecting a certain amount of money this month and now you're scrambling to fill the spaces. So it's just like don't do that to yourself. Don't put that stress on yourself.
For sure.
Yeah.
And like wait lists are okay.
Yeah.
But people are not going to wait long,
Mm-mm.
for you.
Mm-mm.
So having a backup referral program, like, sending them out to somebody else, cool, and they can get on the schedule next time. But don't waste somebody's time putting them on a wait list because you're not
No.
going to get to the wait list if you're booked and busy.
No.
And that's just is what it is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my just to start transitioning out, my recommendation for people like you mentioned it earlier, Lita, at the end of the month, definitely do a mental wellness check-in
Mm-hmm.
with yourself. That is something that is if you don't have hobbies, one, get a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Two, but do a mental health check-in. Also, at the beginning of the month, you could do this at the end of the month too. Do a audit of your business. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing an audit of your business, get feedback from clients, which reminds me, I need to send out this feedback text message. Get feedback from your clients, see how last week was, see what can you do to improve? Where's your money going? How much did you spend on food or payroll or your expenses, subscriptions, things like that? Like where can you cut some of your costs down to retain some of your money so you don't have to feel like you have to go up on your prices when you could just cut back on some of your expenses, and things like that. Do some hardcore auditing. Get an accountant, somebody that's good with numbers, to go through all
Bookkeeper.
of your expenses, a bookkeeper,
Mm-hmm.
um, and yeah, just go from there. But um booked and busy reasonably,
Mm-hmm.
reasonably. I'm not going to say don't book out your schedules, book out your schedules. You want your schedule to be booked out. But
You don't want
one,
no
don't flex.
clients.
Yeah, don't flex about it. Like, you ain't got to flex about it, um, but make sure that there's time for you in there. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think I already said my final words. Go ahead, Talisa.
Oh no, I'm out of here.
I think look, overall, I think you guys
Uh,
got what we were trying to say. Like,
yeah, I
like
hope
just
so. I hope so.
we're
Uh,
not gonna beat a dead horse, but you guys understand what we're trying to say. A successful business is a happy business, be successful, but just do it in reason and don't literally don't kill yourself. Like people are out here, you know, going gun ho for their entrepreneurship and not giving themselves rest and
yeah,
rest. It's important to rest. It's important to check in on your other friends that are also entrepreneurs. It's important to do a mental health check, go to therapy, or even if your therapy is going on vacation. Like it's important to do those things and don't do it to the point where you're afraid to cancel appointments or you're afraid to say I can't work this day. Like just
they will they will be okay.
they'll be okay. They'll still be there when you come back.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
guess what? If you can't come back, who's going to do it anyway? Somebody
That part.
else.
That part.
So
Find somebody else to do it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Find
take
somebody
care
else
of
to
you.
do it. Yeah.
All right, good people. That's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you found some value in this. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to share with another pet pro or
Mhm.
entrepreneur that you feel like would get some value from this,
And leave a
especially
review.
and leave a review, please. Yes,
Yes.
leave a review. Tell us what you
Yes.
learned from it. Ask a
Yes.
question. We'll be happy to answer any questions for you. But if you are looking for a community to grow and build with, we have expanded our member base from just Atlanta. We want to now include pet pros that are like-minded. So join the PETx network. Link on our Instagram and our website. So you can go to thepetxnetwork.com. Yes. And you'll be able to see what we are building and go from there. So hopefully we'll see you soon. We meet weekly, virtually, just so that we can check in with one another and continue to grow and learn from one another and give back to the community. So without further ado, tap in with us and let's continue to build better pet businesses together.
Yes. Lock in.